MaidCentral has the most advanced sales tools in the residential cleaning industry. Our maid service software was built from the ground up to make selling residential cleaning accurate and easy. It helps you create perfect pricing every single time that's configured to the exact way you do business, whether you're selling online 24/7, over the phone, or even in person. You're going to create perfect quotes that sell more and generate more revenue than you made with any prior online sales tools, other service software, and it's all integrated into one suite. So first off, we're going to start with the data. MaidCentral has the data you need to make great sales decisions. So right here on our sales KPI dashboard, you can see that you can set a period of time and look at how many recurring sales you had for new customers. A yellow line here where it says no quote would be a customer that's coming back that you didn't quote. Maybe they're an old customer, they dropped off for a little bit. Again, versus one-time sales and segmenting that data out, and then even tracking that against what you lost for the week, giving you the net gain, and also turning that into how much revenue did that total up for the week, and not just the week that you sold it for, but this is $747.94 that's been added to our weekly revenue week after week. So if we started at 40,000, now we're close to 40,800 every week in new revenue. So you can stack that revenue in MaidCentral. On this dashboard, we quickly get into some scorecard data. MaidCentral has tons of quality management and measurement tools, and that is deeply integrated into your sales process because when you have great operations drive sales, and it's a leading indicator of sales success. And again, net sales. So you want to be selling a lot, but you don't want to be losing all that money out the back end with lost customers. So we have a dashboard that's directed to sales. We don't have all of your quality management software, but we want you to have an idea of what your average score is so you can really understand the correlation between the two. So then next here, we would just have all the customers that we gained and lost for that period. I'm going to skip over that and go right into the other data that's important to you in terms of the sales data that you need to make good decisions. So you can see how many leads are coming in. So for this past week, we generated 107 leads, and of those, 63 turned into quotes. So the difference is a lead is just we gathered maybe five pieces of information. A lead could come in through a phone call. Maybe you got a lead off of Angie's List if you're still using that, or Yelp, or some other source. You have some basic information, but you haven't given them a price. So MaidCentral allows you to install or really use whatever form builder you want and bring your leads right into MaidCentral. So when this is filled out, this would create a lead right inside of MaidCentral. We'll come back to this in just a little bit and look at MaidCentral's lead generation and online booking engine as well. But that's powerful because you don't have to use multiple systems any longer. You can have your lead, you can segment the difference between a lead and a quote and capture a lead up front before you give them pricing with MaidCentral. There's a lot you can do to create really segmented data. Next, you can kind of see how many sales you had recurring versus one time. You can figure out what your quote to lead ratios. So 59% of all the leads we got turned into a quote. Our sales as a percentage of quotes was only 27% last week. And you can see that's in the red here. MaidCentral wants to kind of highlight when you have underperforming metrics. So for us to be, performing at or above par, we would want to be close to about 40% for my company to be in the out of this red here. So sales to lead, we only sold 9% recurring, 7% one time. So only 16% of leads turned into work. That is a product of kind of lower staffing availability. And typically we would see this number closer to 25% and this number closer to 40 to 45%. So the data tells a story, and you can start to figure out, well, when I'm really labor constrained, maybe we should dial back marketing because I'm just not able to sell it. It's too far out and we're not going to close those deals. You can see what sources are working for you. So you can see if your marketing sources are working well, if there's some things you need to change. You can even see who your best salespeople are, who actually had the best sales to quote ratio. So Connie, who's my operations person, she had 22 quotes, of which she was able to close 7 sales for a 32% close ratio. That's actually better than Ari, who's my recruiter, who also has to be able to do some sales. And Ari was 3 for 3, and then Katie had 11 quote opportunities, of which she closed 3 at 27%. So across the board, we had about a 36% close ratio for the opportunities that we had in the office. But then there's also a lot of leads and quotes that are happening online, thus the lower percentage. So we close more over the phone than we were able to do online. And that's also a product of real time availability. So I first off talked about one of the things that's really unique about MaidCentral, which is the fact that it's so customizable and you can create perfect pricing to your company. But what else is really unique about MaidCentral, and what I believe sets it apart from any other software that's out there, is real time availability based on the actual labor hours that you have to sell. So most other software has you put in, day by day, you've got to be managing how much you have to sell. MaidCentral automates that because it knows exactly to the minute how many hours you have left to sell based on the employees that you have, based on how efficiently you schedule those employees, based on some rules that you set based on how often they take off, sick calls, things like that. And so it, to the minute, can determine whether you should be selling on a certain day. So in my business, we don't really have any availability until the 18th now that we want to sell. So that is a function of, again, a tight labor market, but we're starting to kind of dig out from that. And we're starting to see we have some additional hours that we want to sell. MaidCentral has what we call revenue production planning. It is not just telling you how many thousands of dollars you can sell, because that lies, because you could have old customers that are underpriced, but the amount of hours, the amount of employee hours that you have, that can never be inaccurate. You only have so many hours of employees' time to sell. You only can schedule them so efficiently, and you have some rules around how often they call out sick and things like that. That gives you very predictable outcomes for when you're selling online. So you're not going to overbook certain days or be lackluster, and probably maybe you could have sold more, but you didn't realize that with your new pricing that you actually could have sold more on that day. So it is so much easier to sell this way when you're not having to track one calendar or another from another tool. So really how this works, if we look at this availability, so remember the 18th is really the next day that I have available. So if I were to go right online, and I'm going to do a test here. So Testy McTester is my name here, and tester at tester123.com. I'm going to put in a phone number, 555-8999 and 63119. And that's the zip code that we would need to use. So first off, if you put in a zip code here that we don't service, it'll tell you, sorry, you're not in our service area. So save us both a lot of time. Same thing for an online sale or for a sale coming into your office as well. It, again, completely configured to the way your business is set up. So going through that process, you can configure your booking page to do whatever you want, though. But at this point, a lead has been created and it now exists inside of MaidCentral. So you can automate follow-up there to tell your salespeople to call them. After they call them, you can automate and build campaigns to follow up via email, text message, and even personal phone calls to kind of work through the process. So again, this can be completely configured the way you want to do business. So if you require a deep clean first before routine clean, if you do anything else, if you sell multiple service types, just about anything you can imagine can be built here with MaidCentral. It's very configurable, almost completely configurable to any way you'd want to run your business. So I'm going to pick every 2-week service, and I'm going to add a deep clean for the first visit. Again, this could be required, and this would not even be shown. And you could actually have a completely different service that's required first. All of that can be configured. You can sell extras and add-ons, apply promo codes, and then next we're going to go ahead and put in an address. So I'm going to just grab a address in our service area here. Go next page, and we're going to look at the availability. So you can see, first off, nothing came right here in June. There's nothing left in June. And again, the availability matches perfectly to the hours that we have to sell. So you're never going to be selling or overselling on a certain day. So at this point, we put in any special instructions that we might have. The dog bites, right? Or treats are under the mat, or I'm sorry, the keys under the mat, and treats are in the pantry. So they need to add a credit card. They need to agree to your terms of service, so they can read them here. Again, these are configurable within MaidCentral. You can also make it so that all of your customers have to agree to your terms of service, whether you sold them over the phone or right through your website 24/7. So there can never be any disconnect between the things that you are offering and them understanding how you're going to do business and what their expectations can be. So, is it producing perfect pricing every time? Absolutely. Is it creating a very accurate amount of time that you should be cleaning that home? Absolutely. That's one of the other things that's really amazing about it is that the timing is perfect, so that your technicians are in there for the right amount of time, and then it's also selling real time availability. And again, your customers know exactly what to expect with your terms of service. You can also create some marketing on the right hand side, embed videos, any kind of information you think that they need to know during the sales process. So that's just the beginning, right? There's really so much more that it really can do. And I'll talk about a few more things, and then we'll probably let you free to jump into any other video you'd like. But in addition to all of this, right, you have sales dashboards where when the leads come in, they're going to come here with an open ticket. So we're going to look at the one that I just created. So mat testing here. So, or actually test McTester. I've been playing around a little bit tonight. So first off, it's going to tell my salespeople that they need to give them a call. Once they do that, you can trigger a whole series of campaigns and automations where you can send out automated emails, automated text messages, and that can go out to your prospects. Whether they're a lead or a quote, you can segment it. So it has advanced automations to follow up on the sale, because most of us, the problem isn't that we need more and more leads. The problem is we actually need to work the leads that we have even more. So you can create as many touch points as you want. And then even if you aren't ready to build out advanced automations, there's simplified automations in MaidCentral where you can just say, I'm going to go ahead and I need to reach out to every lead at least 10 times. I'm going to follow up with every quote at least 4 times. And every time that happens, it'll open a ticket on your dashboard that you need to close out. So that's kind of simple automations that if you don't have time to build out really advanced lead campaigns, we can simplify that with you and just have you have this simple dashboard settings to kind of control that. So in addition to advanced automations that we have a Keep integration that we're rolling out that would allow you to hook anything that you can imagine up together. So if you need something that we don't have existing today, through the Keep integration, you can build just about any kind of automation, any kind of follow-up sequence that you can imagine. So kind of finishing up with a couple more things that just makes the MaidCentral software so powerful during the sales process. So talking about the campaigns. So there's automated campaigns that you can build. All of those can be segmented by whether it came in from your website or the office, whether it's a quote through your office or your website, and you would want to treat those all differently. But let's say you want to just search through all your leads that came in through a certain date and they were a certain type of lead. You can run this report, you can sort it by zip code, and then you can decide, I want to send out an email or text message to all the customers in this zip code because I need to fill something on my calendar. Same thing with customers. There's other types of campaigns for existing customers. But let's say you have what we call on-demand customers. So that's a customer that has gotten a price from you, but doesn't necessarily have recurring service. But if you have a special or promotion, they'll come on. And so you could actually sort it by the zones that you want to send out a message to. Let's say I only want to send it into a couple of these zones because, again, MaidCentral allows you to create route density based on zip codes and territories. We call them zones. And I want to only send that message out to a few people on demand. I do a quick search for customers with no pending jobs. And I don't want to send it to lot customers. So lot customers are customers that we don't want to do business with for some variety of reason. We're going to do a quick search. and boom, we've got a list of 20 customers in that zone, and we can send them a quick text message, say, hey, we've got some spots to fill this week. We'd love for you to join or get on our calendar this week. So all the reasons that the MaidCentral is so powerful is that it's so configurable, it's so accurate, and it is real-time availability, all the follow-up tools, all the campaigns and nurture tools, all at your fingertips to be making better sales decisions and be able to sell more and stack that revenue up week after week. So we can dive into this all in your personal one-on-one demo. Looking forward to meeting you. Have a great day.